Halo is in a terrible state right now. Basically, the Halo campaign Evolved came out, but overall, it's basically the only thing that's happening for Halo right now. And we're going to be talking about that and why the Halo series or Halo franchise is basically just like it almost feels like a dead franchise in a way, even though we know that there's probably still going to be more Halo games, but it might as well be dead at this point. My name is the Techno Jelly. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate when you do. We do these types of videos on Mondays, so please come to the channel on Mondays. Comment down below what you guys would like to hear me talk about next. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. Use code TechnoJelly at poggers.shop. Link in the description for 10% off of any of their products. And now, let's get straight into the video. So now that Halo Campaign Evolved has come out, a bunch of things have come out after that through some interviews and some insiders, mostly Idle Sloth and the Twitter account and Rebs Gaming, the YouTube channel mostly. And the biggest thing is that now that Campaign Evolve is out, there are no actual Halo games in production. Now, to say that, there are things in pre-production and in concept phase, but there's nothing solid actually being created right now for Halo, which I think is an insane thing to say because Halo Studios or 343 have basically been a failure as a company. They have failed as a studio and they haven't really made a good Halo game ever. And they apparently can't make a Halo game every 5 years, even. Like, it takes them so long to make these Halo games and such a terrible struggle to make anything that I feel like we're at this point where, like, you should just pack it up. Halo Studios should be, like, I hate to say it, but they should just be either closed or, like, something has to be done that's extreme. Or maybe all the leaders, everyone in a leadership position should be fired from Halo Studios slash 343 because they failed. They have overall failed every time. And they have done nothing positive for the Halo franchise other than the fact that make people say over and over again that the older ones that Bungie did were better. And so I feel like now that Campaign Evolved has come out, and it's a pretty good game, don't get me wrong, it's fine, it's a good game, but I mean, it's just a retelling of the first one. Like, the first decent campaign they've done is the one that's a remake, and we now know that the Battle Royale turned extraction shooter turned back into Battle Royale has been canceled. And now we know that basically the only thing that's maybe going to happen for the Halo in next couple years is DLC for Campaign Evolved, which I don't even know what DLC what you would do for that because Campaign Evolved is a full game. Like, there was no DLC for Halo 1 Combat Evolved. So what would the DLC even be? And I think the fact that there is no multiplayer Halo game being actively developed right now, and not even a single player campaign being developed right now is a failure. And the leaders need to be like, it's just something that needs to happen. Like, I just don't think 343 slash Halo Studios have done well, if you couldn't tell. And they should be doing something else. Like, I'm not saying they should never make video games again or anything like that. I'm not saying, they should be, executed, but obviously they can't do Halo. So they need to do something else. And Microsoft needs to put someone in charge that actually wants to make Halo games in relatively decent time frames because every 7 years is too long for Halo. It needs to be every few years at best because, like, that's the way Halo used to be. And another thing is, like, I feel like we're done with Master Chief. I think Master Chief needs to be put on the shelf. Like, I'm not saying he needs to die or needs to be killed off in the series, but we need to move away from him because you can't have a story in Halo continue on from what 343 has done with Master Chief and Cortana. Like, I feel like we need to go off and do something else in the Halo universe, in the Halo franchise, to, like, almost like a palate cleanser of going away from Master Chief. And I mean, honestly, going away from 343, like I said before. And I feel like actually what they did with this one is a good idea. Like, hopefully, because Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes aren't confirmed, but I really hope they do that only because it means that we will have some decent Halo games coming out within the next couple years, 3, 5 years, because obviously the remakes don't take as much time and they shouldn't take as much time. And if they do take more time than that, then there are some serious problems at 343 because unfortunately, while I want them to give Halo to someone else, it's not going to happen. They literally renamed them to Halo Studios. So obviously they're not going to give up on them. So obviously they're going to continue making Halo games. But like they're not even making Halo games right now. All they did was a remake and like a canceled project and failed concepts for other campaigns or other single player games. And then there's this like small rumor of a Halo MMO, which honestly just don't even know that's stupid. Don't do an MMO. Halo isn't an MMO. Like, I mean, Halo Wars, which was the RTS game, was fun, but Halo is an FPS game, and it's a single player and multiplayer game with first person shooter mechanics. Just don't do an MMO. That's dumb. Destiny didn't really, I mean, kind of worked, but like it's a argument whether or not it was a success or not. So I think you don't need to break the system. The problem is the system barely exists for Halo because there hasn't been a consistent stream of Halo games since Bungie, basically. And it's sucks to say that because Halo 4 and 5, well, you can argue that they were good or bad games, but like they just didn't do anything. And then it took too long in between them, and then Halo Infinite took way too long to make. The single player was a disappointment. Forge took too long. The split screen was canceled. The live service basically lasted maybe, to be generous, a year, but there's some arguments that it didn't even last that long. The 10-year Halo game has been abandoned for like 3 years, and because of the terribleness of 343 and Halo Studios, it's most likely going to be the 10-year Halo game, even though it's not going to be supported for 10 years, because there isn't going to be a new Halo game probably for another 3 or 4 years at least. And that Halo game that's probably going to come out is probably going to be Halo 2, or it's going to be probably, I mean, Campaign Evolved 2, which I mean would be fun and I'd be down, but like it feels like we're very far away from the next Halo game, which is really sad to say. And I think this is just a gigantic failure by Halo Studios and Microsoft for letting it continue like this. Because it is also Microsoft's fault. Like they should be pushing harder for Halo. And I hope like with the whole stuff with Asha coming in, there's like focusing on the franchises. I really hope more Halo stuff happens because it doesn't just have to be Halo Studios and 343 making these games. Give it to someone else to make a Halo game. Like they can make some spin-offs. Like where's the spin-off games? Where are the smaller Halo franchise games? Like you can make a smaller game with Halo. I mean, that's what Halo Wars was. Halo Wars isn't a triple A FPS game. It was a smaller team working on it. At least the first one. So I think they need to start doing stuff like that again. I really hope they do. Though I'll be honest, I'm more hopeful for all like the Bethesda stuff that I talked about last week rather than the Halo stuff, because the problem is that, even though, you can disagree or argue with if Bethesda makes decent games or not, those games are huge games, like Fallout 4. You can have a problem with Fallout 4. It's still a huge game. But Halo Campaign Evolved is a 8-hour remake, and it took them quite a while to do it apparently. And Halo Infinite was not a game that was in development for 6 years. That game was in development for about 2 years because everything else was canceled. And this battle royale, extraction shooter battle royale thing was canceled. And honestly, I would have been okay with a battle royale. I just don't think it should have been an individual game. It should have just been a game mode in Halo Infinite. But, and even the extraction shooter mode. Like it should have just been a game mode in Halo Infinite, but they abandoned Halo Infinite almost like 3 years into development of their 10-year Halo game. So the fact that multiplayer Halo basically is still just Master Chief Collection because no one really plays Halo Infinite is kind of sad. And we're probably not going to get a mainline campaign or multiplayer game for another 4 or 5 years because we now know that there are basically no Halo games in full development. Sure, early concepts, all that type of stuff, nothing in full pre-production. Like we're not even talking pre-production, we're talking about concepts. So it's insane. It's actually insane that the main line studio game for Microsoft that is Halo basically feels like a dead franchise that they just don't know what to do with, which is, like I said, insane because it should be the biggest slam dunk ever to make a Halo game every like 3 5 years. Like, the new Halo game comes out. That should be a standard thing for Xbox fans. Be like, oh, the new Halo's out, and whether or not it's a good one or bad one, who cares? But like that hasn't been the case for a while, and it just takes way too long. And I hope they start smacking some sense into these people. And honestly, I hope the leadership just leaves when it comes to Halo Studios because obviously they failed, and they need to actually bring a team together that can make games And no offense to the devs and all that type of stuff, but like obviously there needs to be a clean slate or something like that. And I mean, unfortunately for Xbox and for those devs, that's probably going to happen. Halo Studios is probably going to get wiped with layoffs just because that's what Microsoft is doing with all of them. So I don't think they're going to be safe from it. And it sucks to say that, but I do think that maybe that's needed, or at least I mean the problem is that the people are going to be laid off probably isn't going to be the leadership, and the leadership probably is going to stay. And I think though the leadership is the one that needs to be gone because they obviously can't do it. So someone else needs to take over. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do these types of videos on Mondays as well as Friday videos as well. So please come to the channel at those days. I also do short content as well, whether it be on YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram Reels, all that good stuff. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you do. If you'd like to support directly, please go to my Patreon at patreon.com/technojelly. You join all of these nice people in the credits, and you get a once a month live stream that we do for Patreon members that you can vote on and do all that good stuff. Hang out with me. If you'd like to support super directly, I have a code technojelly at poggers.shop linked in the description. You get 10% off of any of their products, whether it be their hydration drink, energy drink, or sleep aid mixes, as well as their shaker cups. I also have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at the Techno Jelly. Click or tap my face for more videos, and I'll see you in those videos. Goodbye, everyone.